Hi everybody, and welcome back to Parent Alienation is Child Abuse Unfiltered. Thanks for joining me once again, for being here, showing an interest in this subject. It's a very delicate subject and it affects a lot of children around the world right now. I want you to stop and think about something. Are you an alienated child? Do you alienate your child? Do you know the repercussions of what alienation does to a child? Are you aware of the psychological and emotional abuse this is inflicting on a child? Let me enlighten you on a few things. When another parent withholds a child from the other loving parent for no genuine reasons other than spite, mainly stemming from the relationship split up because they couldn't deal with rejection, instead of just going, okay, the relationship didn't work out, let's move on, start again, let's co-parent the child because it's not the child's fault, they were stuck in the middle of it, let's just co-parent this little child by itself without having our anger or our hostilities brought into it. Unfortunately, that's not how a narcissist works. A narcissist will work the child against the other parent, which I've spoken about before. The psychological damage that this does to a child is irreversible, irexcusable. The damage that this does to a child that goes throughout their whole life, it follows them. It follows them into relationships that they may want to join with friends. It affects relationships if they want to find a partner. You see, when you have a parent who's supposed to love and nurture you as a child, turn you against the other parent and spread so much vile hate and false truths about this person, this child is confused. This child is bewildered by what's going on. They don't understand why, let's hypothetically say, the mother's saying all this horrible stuff about my father. My father's not like that. I don't remember him hitting me like that. I don't remember him swearing like that. My dad's always been so caring and loving and spends a lot of time with us. Let's do the flip side of that. Oh, I don't remember my mother saying that about me. I don't remember my mother hurting me like that. I don't remember my mother not feeding me or giving me clean clothes to wear. I never remember any of the abuse that they're saying that my parents done to me. Can you imagine what that does to a child? To have a lie imprinted on their mind that they have no memory about? That is abuse. That is a psychological scar on that child because the simple fact the other parent couldn't move on. How do you fix that? Well, if it's already been done, it's very hard to undo because you've betrayed that trust. And that trust that's broken will follow that child through the rest of that child's life. That child will have trust issues with everybody they come across. Trust me, I know. I have trust issues. To this day, I still have trust issues. My friendship circle is very, very small. I could count them on one hand. That's how close my closest friends are. I have a lot of people I call friends that are really nice people, they're beautiful people. But I don't open up to anybody. I don't build bonds with anybody. I certainly don't unload any of my problems on anybody because you don't feel like you can trust people. Because if your own parents can't be trusted, then how are you supposed to trust the rest of the world? Parents are the first thing, the first lot of people that give you education as you're growing in your young life. You look to them for guidance. You look to them for their experience in life to guide you through your life. But if you're an alienated child with a narcissistic parent, then you're being robbed of your childhood. You are being robbed of your happiness. You are being robbed of any future happiness you may have. Unless you're very strong and you can get through this and see it for what it is. And when you're very young, you don't know. You're a child. You don't know. You put your faith and your whole love in your parents. You don't expect them to betray you by turning you against someone who's equally as loving because they can't get along. No, parental alienation is child abuse, and the sooner people wake up to that, the sooner we can get something done about stopping that. More education needs to be done into educating people on how to deal with a relationship split up, because that's what needs to be done. People need to be educated about when you split up with somebody and you can't, that relationship doesn't work, and you do have a child together, then you need to work about how you're going to co-parent that child and move on. Don't hold grudges. Don't hold on to spite. It didn't work out, it didn't work out. That's it, over. I've had some people ask me about why I think people alienate their children. I have an answer for this as well. I have two answers. One, narcissistic people are just like that. They just think of themselves and don't think of the feelings of anybody else around them. And two, an insecurity. They're insecure in their own self, that they feel that because the relationship has ended and the child now has to be shared, for some strange reason in their own stupid head, they think the child won't love them as much. They're scared that if the child goes over to their father or their mother, whoever happens to be, and have a great time over there and come back and try to tell their other parent about the great time they had, they feel betrayed. The narcissistic parent feels betrayed, and they imprint that on that child, be through a look, through verbally abusing the other parent, could be just mannerisms. There's lots of ways a narcissistic person can get their message across without saying a word. Just a look, just a silent treatment, withholding love. You see, kids crave acceptance. Kids crave wanting to be loved. That's what a child is. That's children. Kids do that. So these children will do what they think they have to do to please the parent that they're having to live with full time, who could be the narcissistic parent that's alienating them from their other loving parent. The narcissistic parent spreading lies, false truths, making allegations against the other parent as a way to turn other people against that person. It comes down to insecurity. Worried that someone might think that they're a bit better person than this person actually happens to be. Which is true, because who wants to withhold a child from another parent? Come on. That child has equal rights to both parents. Even if the other parent's a bit of a jerk. Like, the kid needs to see that. You can't go around making false allegations and spreading vile hate and poison venom into a child because of your own selfish needs. That's abuse. That is child abuse. You need to grow up. You need to look at your child in the eyes next time you say something, and you read that little baby's soul. You see the hurt that you're causing on that little child, and then you go look in the mirror and see if you feel proud of yourself for doing that. Shouldn't say that, because most narcissistic people do. They get a kick out of the pain they inflict on other people. Hence the word narcissistic people, because they don't have a heart. They have their self-indulgence on themselves, and that's the only person they ever care about, how they're feeling. Don't care what the child's feeling. Don't care how the child's coping in life. Another interesting fact. I've had other people come up to me saying about the youth crime in the world. Oh my God, the youth crime. Oh, the youth crime. Look at it happening out. Oh, the kids are just acting. Maybe stop and have a think about that child's upbringing. Have a think, maybe that child might be just a shit of a kid. There are lots of shit of kids out there, trust me. But there's also a reason behind that. Look at the upbringing. One, you have a parent that doesn't really care about what the child's up to. Know someone like that would rather not know what the kid's doing than know what's happening and get involved in it. Or you have the other parent that knows what's going on and just doesn't give a crap. Doesn't give a crap. Most kids' behaviours stem back to children, when they're children. The loving environment they were in, or the hostile environment they were in. I know I was in a hostel growing up with my mum. I watched her get beaten daily because of the person she was connected to. And then I got left with the person who calls himself my father, and another woman that he lived with that used to beat the shit out of me all the time. Yep, So when people act out in their adolescent years, I was never an act outer. I just have to put that out there straight. I was a loner. I was quiet. I always kept to myself. Always have, always will. That's just me. But I am a voice for those who don't have one. That I've learnt to become. That has been a strength in me with what my past has brought to me as a way to help protect somebody in the future. Help raise awareness to maybe a child or a teenager that's watching this. This isn't kid friendly because I didn't allow it to be kid friendly, because this subject's not a child subject. This is an adult subject that affects children inflicted on a child by an adult. Think about that. Any other word, that would be called child abuse. Yep. And the courts up here in Queensland, they don't recognise it. They don't. They have two separate courts happening. One, a family court for certain situations about, family disputes and custody issues. And then you have to go to another court to go on about alienation, and then you have to try to prove that. Not many people know what the word alienation is. Not many people have heard about the word parent alienation is. But I bet you a lot of people, probably 1 in 10, that's a pretty game number. But I reckon 1 in 10 people will know somebody who's either 1, dealing with it, 2, experienced it, or 3, have lived it. That's pretty scary. That's pretty scary. As for the kids acting up out there, they need to be looked closer at, because there's a reason why they're like that. They're angry. They're angry and frustrated. Maybe they've had lies told about their parents to them too. Maybe they've been denied the loving, caring relationship that every child should be experiencing with both loving parents in their lives. That nurturing and the love from their mum and the growth and the knowledge and stuff that comes from a father. People really need to think about their actions, because every action has a reaction. And when you exclude a loving child's parent from seeing their own child because you couldn't get over the relationship split up, then that's going to come back and bite you one day. You might think you've got it all happening right now, and you probably feel like you do. You've got your kids. They haven't seen their father for how many years? I know one father hasn't seen their child for 5 years. I know another one that hasn't seen their child for 9 years. The list goes on. The list goes on. I got a friend that has a newborn child that he hasn't even seen yet, because he split up with the woman before she had the child. So then now she denies him seeing it. A brand new child this person's not got to see. You tell me that's not abuse. You tell me that's okay. It's not. If this person's being hit, beaten, abused in any way, and it's proof that that's actually happening, fair call. Totally get that. I grew up watching my mother get beaten up on a daily basis. I know what that's like. So if that's the case, then fair call. But if that's not the case, if you're only holding that child because you couldn't get over a relationship and you're spiteful about that he how dare he leave you, or how dare she leave you, and you're not taking my kids. Like, kids aren't property. Get that through your head. Kids do not belong to you. They're a living, breathing human being. They're not a piece of property. You created it in your body if you're the mother, yes. You don't own that child. It's not your property. The father has an equal right to see that child just as much as you have the right to have it as well. Unless either parent, mother or father, are proven to be abusive in different ways. I know one that doesn't even feed their kids. It's terrible. But no one says anything. No one says anything. These kids just suffer in silence. Like hundreds of thousands of kids around the world today suffer in silence because no one will speak up for them. I'm here. I will. I'll keep doing it. Anyway, thanks for being here and showing an interest in this. I really appreciate it. And if I can just help one person, just one, or just open the eyes of somebody to go, hang on, that's what's happened to me. I was parent alienated. My mother withheld me from seeing my dad, made all these lies up. Or my dad withheld me from seeing my mum, made all these lies up. Happens on both sides of the field. Mothers and fathers. Just spiteful people that can't get over relationships split up and think their child's property. Can't take my kid, it's mine. Yeah. Kids have feelings, thoughts and minds of their own, and that will come out one day, and then tables will turn. Anyway, thanks for being here. I again appreciate everybody that's joining me. Like I said, this is a touchy subject. Do stutter my words a few times and probably get a bit passionate about different things, but that's where I'm at. Anyway, keep going, keep smiling, keep spreading love, because that's what we need. We need love. If there's more love in the world, there wouldn't be so much bitterness and so much hatred. People need to learn to love, accept, and if things don't work out, then move on. Simple. Don't be one of these people that hold on to grudges that poison other people's worlds because of you. Anyway, catch you on the next one. Thanks for being here again. See ya.